ISD board meeting right now.
And members of the board, Isael Posadas with SDI Engineering. We're back from the last meeting we had to give you an update on the Edinburgh North Park, which is in the Boys and Girls Club subdivision, Lot 1. A couple of developments. One of the things wanted to give you an update and see where we are from the last time. I know we were asked to give various other options, and we sent some, but let me, just for public consumption, let me just go ahead and tell you exactly where this is. This is on the corner of Rogers and Expressway 281 on the southwest corner. This is Lot 1 out of Boys and Girls Club, located just adjacent to just east of the Boys and Girls Club. That subdivision, this one lot in there is 6.55 acres. The only issue there, or the big issue there, is it's encumbered by a 150-foot ETT easement. That is those big, oversized power lines, the biggest ones here in the valley, actually, that have been placed in the last 2 years. That Lot 1 gave over an easement for them to install it, and it was a very restrictive easement. If you read it, you actually, by the instrument itself, there's almost nothing you can do with it other than have grass on it. But they've been working with us. We had a little trouble getting some communication with them. We have in the last 2 weeks been a little blessed with discussing it more directly with their Corpus outfit. We spoke with their right-of-way person, and we offered them some variations. And last week we presented those to you because it did make it past the right-of-way people. Unfortunately, we just got word yesterday, and I sent some of you, maybe Joey, I think I sent you just this morning, comments by the engineering department basically saying, no, they didn't like the two baseball setup that they had there, the splash pad or the future splash pad, and some of the other amenities. So we went back and forth with 4 to 5 options since yesterday morning with them. We found a common ground, which is essentially fairly close to what the original phase 1 was going to be. What this does is it includes, this iteration is a softball field completely outside of that easement, and that easement is denoted here by this red, this red shaded area. It includes basketball court, which in this case now, because we moved it out of that other area, in the future could be converted to a covered basketball area. No encumbrances there. This shows the layout showing the restrooms again outside of that area, the playground, and possibly a future splash pad also. These are all to scale, so everything does fit here, all of those amenities. In addition to that, we, because of the restrictions on that easement, although we could have put in a parking lot, extended a parking lot out there, the fact that we would have lights at 18 to 24 foot tall became an issue for them. So we brought it all out and we kept a practice field. Now, one thing I didn't just explain right now because it was the last edition, the mayor did ask me, hey, is there any way to also include a park for the skate pad? And so we showed that right here. This is that area. This is to scale based on what we have in Edinburgh already, the skate park off of Jackson Road, Jackson and Sprague. So although we haven't designed that, this just wanted to show you to scale that it could fit in that area. And all the amenities of a skate park can be located there. The estimate, the construction estimate without the skate park and without the splash pad is still our goal, hitting that under $1 million, $947,000. That's where we're at right now.
Say that again. That's without what?
That's without the splash pad and without the skate park. Now, the skate park can be, it's a concrete pad, and then things can be added to it. Those are modular sometimes. You can have it where you can buy those parts separately. So we could always install the concrete pad and start working toward getting the other amenities. But our goal had always been to stay under the $1 million based on our budget. So $947,000, no splash pad and no skate park, but we could possibly at least do the pad for the skating park. We still think because all of these items have already been designed, all we have to do is make some adjustments on the sprinkler system, the lighting locations, all the details for the softball, for the trail. By the way, that did also include a trail. A trail is not an issue with that easement, and it encompasses the entire area here. That is, like I said, included in that $947,000 estimate. We are set. We can still begin. We can still have, based on design and going out for bids, and we had given ourselves 2 to 3 weeks of adjustment period in that schedule, so we can still meet the August 1st begin construction date. And this is still a 3 to 5 months project, mainly because of the long lead items like the Musco lighting, the big lights that would go in that softball park. Those are about a 2-month lead item. So I'll go back to the picture in case anybody has any questions. Be happy to answer.
I got a couple questions.
Yes, sir.
So these light poles went in 2 years ago, so if we would have had this already in place 2 years ago, they would not have been able to put those light poles?
I don't believe so. I think, I don't know when the agreement was. The poles themselves may have gone in about 2 years ago, but the easement would have been done well ahead of that. Yeah, I actually represented some clients who were working through condemnations when ETT was going and acquiring. So they would acquire the property first and then install the lights. So, but this was not through a condemnation. I believe they came to the EDC and were granted this easement even back then.
How long is that walking trail? What is it, a mile? What is it?
It's not quite a mile. I think it's about 0.78 miles or something like that, almost 0.8. Now, we can always add a few more curves in there to get a little more length out of it.
This practice football field, there's no issue with that under those lines?
The only thing we wouldn't be able to put in there would be the lights, any evening lights. We can put lights along the trail and maybe some lights along on the right hand of the screen, which is the east side.
What about goalposts?
The goalposts, as long as they're plastic, or right now we're trying to get confirmation on aluminum, if aluminum would be acceptable. But certainly this could work at least as a practice field. Maybe no field goals. If that becomes an issue, we can always have soccer as well with the plastic soccer goals.
Okay,
and
so
as far as uprights, as long as they're not metal, and we're confirming with BSN, which is
I'm familiar with them.
Supplier.
So the goalposts is not part of this 947?
It is in the estimate, but we don't know that we'll be able to install those depending on the material. Right now they do supply aluminum, and we're trying to get confirmation from ETT that aluminum would not be a problem.
Okay, so this has to be labeled a practice field because
Correct.
we might not have goalposts,
For field
and that
goals.
also, does that also eliminate bleachers?
I don't believe bleachers are going to be a problem, the aluminum bleachers. It's just those things that are taller and create what they call a point for electrical. They do say, you know, and I've been through some of their meetings, and it's not supposed to be an issue because they're so tall, they're higher. These are not your normal street power lines. So it's not supposed to, they're just not wanting to even go there with installing anything that protrudes more than, I think, 15 feet in the air.
One thing I noticed is you cut the concession stands.
No, they're still there.
They're
It's
still
a
there?
restroom with concessions.
Oh,
I
okay.
just didn't want to.
Okay, no
Overcrowd
problem.
this.
It's all part of that little red square right there.
Correct. It's very similar to the Janet Backer Park, which has, if you've been to the Janet Backer Park, in between the two softball fields, there is a restroom / concession stand. That is the
Okay.
size of building, and that is the estimate that we included in here.
This is a regulation size football field, correct?
Football field, yes.
Right, so
It includes a goal area, so I mean, it's everything. We just wanted to show it. It's basically open area. Our idea is to put in a sprinkler system as well, you know, to keep it grass.
All right, sir. Questions? Comments?
I know that AEP reached out to us. They were needing our help on a swap they were trying to get done with Magic Valley. Very instrumental on the city side in making that happen. Is this where we're at? Is that what they're saying, that what we can do on that easement, is that set in stone, or is there still some negotiating on that easement that still allows us to go back to the original plan with the baseball fields?
The baseball field is going to be problematic because of the height on those light poles. That's going to be what's problematic. And, you know, we could do a type that doesn't include any, but then you got fencing. You got, for instance, the backstop. Those are taller. Those are about 20-foot backstops for foul balls and stuff. You'd have to have poles that hold that up, and they'd be 20 feet in the air. That would be problematic. And I think we concur with some of those height restrictions as well. We would not want to be, because these are not your normal, typical, they do carry a lot of power, although in all the meetings I've been with them, they've never said it's an issue because of the height, and that's the height requirement they've got. I want to say they're like 40 feet when it sags, at least 40 feet where it sags, 45 feet maybe. So.
Anything else? Good. All right, this is an action item, right, Drew?
Yes, sir. Authorize staff to, and engineers to go out for bids.
Okay, can I entertain a motion on this?
Make a motion, Mr. President.
Second motion and go out for bids.
We do have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Those opposed, same sign. That motion carries.
Thank you.
Paz, thank you for the presentation, and I'll be getting with you, and let's get it done. So, okay, Joey, so what are we
What's
looking
the
at?
next step? We want to do a groundbreaking or as soon as possible. So I know the mayor's anxious to do that in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, we can be prepared with a groundbreaking, to showcase this to the public if you'd like, and, have some pictures
Big
and stuff,
renderings.
yes.
Give us
Show
a
what
date,
we're
Mr.
gonna do.
Posadas.
What's that?
Give us a date.
I'll get with Joey and see what, see what's available for all of you.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, we're going to go on number 4, discuss and consider approval of an agreement for Realtor services.
Yes, sir, Mr. President, members of the board. I'd like to introduce Mr. Mark Hanna with Hanna Solutions. He has submitted a proposal to help us with our properties and trying to sell the industrial park and some of the other properties we have that the EDC owns. He's, in my opinion, been really resourceful, and he's jumped on even without having a contract with us to show us some of his capabilities with his firm, and I wanted him to come introduce you to him to see what you all think and talk about maybe hiring him to help us sell our properties. Mr. Hanna?
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for your time. So like Mr. Trevino said, a couple of weeks ago we met, and I always try to meet with different economic development directors. Our firm, we believe in growing the region through the sales of real estate. And we've been very fortunate to work with other municipalities, including Hidalgo County, the city of Mercedes, La Feria, McAllen, Mission, and hopefully soon the city of Edinburgh. So one of our focuses right now is specifically opportunity zones. We're working with different law firms across the state that represent opportunity funds. And these are pools of investors that are looking for specific properties that they can park their money, keep it there for 10 years, flip it, and then avoid a capital gain tax, which is what the opportunity zone does. So our focus was originally that industrial park that you all have that has so much potential but just has not been advertised to the entire state, to the entire country as well as it could be. And EDCs do a great job of putting packages, the data together, but I think that the commercial brokerage arm is what helps complete that puzzle. So when we met with Mr. Trevino, he showed us the industrial park, and we were very, very thrilled. And one of the other things that he showed us was just like, hey, something else you might want to keep in mind is Albores Court. He showed us Albores Court, and he gave us just a plat of it, that there's 98 units, 13 acres. It could be a great commercial property. See if you can find someone that would be interested. The Housing Authority currently owns it. And I saw this as a gold mine. So we went out there, we put a package together, we did drone photography, and we came back a couple of days later with someone interested, an investor out of New Jersey. We met with the Housing Authority director and the board, saw the insides of the property, and we already submitted an offer. So we just want to use that as an example of our aggressiveness. Some brokerages believe that they should put up a sign, go to church on Sunday, and pray that it sells. We don't believe in operating that way. In 2019, it's all about the digital age. I do go to church on Sunday, and I do pray that the property sells, but I also believe in working with the tools and the resources that we have to attract people from all over the state and all over the country. South Texas being an international port into Texas and to the rest of the state, we have a lot of opportunity, and people around the state and around the country just don't know about it. So we would love the opportunity the same way that we did Albores Court. Obviously, it would be a lot more work because there's, over 100 acres there. We'd love to package the industrial park. We'd love to present to different opportunity fund groups, and we'd love to represent the Edinburgh EDC to find end users that want to develop and build industrial buildings, create jobs in the city of Edinburgh, and ultimately, raise the tax base for the city and be a good stimulator for the region. Our proposal is pretty simple. We want to package the properties, we want to market and advertise, and we want to execute closed deals. Some of our services, real estate, selling and buying services, recruitment missions, data sourcing, demographics, and analytics. And Mr. Trevino has been very helpful in getting us a lot of information. And working together, we can really put this into a great package. Branding and advertising, strategic planning, and targeting buyers. Because when you sell a property, it's not just about, hey, build it and they will come. You got to go hunt. And that's something that we pride ourselves. So what we'll do for you all is we're going to find and maximize the value through presentation. We're going to prepare property presentations. We're going to contact Opportunity Zone funds, and we're going to advertise on multiple digital platforms. And our goal is to list all your properties. We charge the standard industry 6% of all sales of the sales price. Our contract term to list these properties would be a year, and all of our marketing, advertising would be part of that 6%. So it's very possible that we put a package together and we don't succeed in selling, but it'll cost the EDC $0. That's an investment that we're willing to make because we believe that we can sell these properties.
Mr. Hanna, where are you based out of?
McAllen,
Cal?
Yes.
You've been there for how long?
doing business the last 10 years. Before I got into real estate, I've been in real estate the last 4 years. I was in commercial lending for 7 years.
And this deal that you're doing with the Housing Authority, that's what's in this packet, right? This is what you're,
That's what he supplied to them, yes.
right, to show us your work.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, we put that together to show the investors, and, you know, none of that information, like, we just had a plat. So
Right.
we went out, we took pictures, we packaged it, and with that information, we were able to turn around and bring an
Are you
offer.
doing any other business in Edinburgh besides this with the Housing Authority?
No. This was supposed to be the gateway in.
On the, I'd like to discuss the opportunity funds. Our industrial park isn't an opportunity fund. That's something that the new tax laws have been implemented last year by the federal government. I think that's important because that whole area can be used as opportunity funds. And also, we can probably incentivize other things. I don't think we would like to have people buy the property and just sit on it for 10 years. I think we want them to develop it and build something and create jobs as part of the incentive that we do if we sell the property at either a discounted rate or incentivize the program when it's built.
So this opportunity zone was part of the new tax cut that was passed in 2017. And it basically states if you purchase a property in an opportunity zone, census tract, which the entire industrial park is designated a census tract, and you hold it for 5 years and you sell it, you get a 10% reduction in your capital gain tax. So this is like an amplified 1031 exchange. If you hold it for 7 years, you get a 15% basically discount on your capital gain tax. But if you hold it for 10 years, you get 0% capital gain tax is applied to that property, which is a huge win. And in this area, I mean, we have a shortage of like 1.5 million square feet of warehouse space that's needed. You had a developer that just broke ground in Wessico, and he's building 300,000 square feet, not in an opportunity zone. So it's about packaging this and about selling it and saying, look, we understand that you may want to go to the Pharr Industrial Park or the McAllen or go to Wessico or Mission, but this over here is in an opportunity zone. It is very, very well priced. There's economic incentives that we can work out based on the project. And it's on a corridor that allows, the most important thing is quick access to the expressway to head northbound. So, to me, this is the most attractive industrial park in the region. People just don't know about it. So we'd love to work with Mr. Trevino and his team, package it, and go hunting.
I think the question is, will us being able to market and create jobs work with that program and opportunity zone? Will that work? Well, when you're marketing that, we're going to be wanting something else. So
And that's why I just said, when he had made a statement, some people can just buy the land and just hold it for 10 years and they'll get the tax credit. But we want something else. And
Yeah.
when he brings the project to us, then we'll discuss the
Which
other
one?
incentives that we want that company, particular company to provide, 60, 100 jobs, a minimum investment on the land, that we can negotiate that also into the sale of the property. So it will still come back to us. He's just not going to sell it and say, here. So
there's still
comes to-
better options, because the reality of it is a lot of these properties are just, well, especially at the industrial park, it might have been already 10 years. I don't know when it was created, but, they've been sitting there and there's no opportunities have been created.
So in order to fully utilize the opportunity zone tax incentive, you want to improve the property. So we pay $59,000 for attractive land, I want to throw in as much money into that project, build warehouses, build improvements, because after 10 years, I'm going to pay zero tax on that capital gain.
So you can improve it within the 10 years, but after 10 years, you go down to the 0%.
After 10 years, after you sell it,
After you sell it, yeah.
yeah, after they sell it, but it's going to be an investment. I mean, they're going to be warehouse spaces, they're going to have operating businesses, the value of the property is already going to be improved. No one's going to purchase this property to hold it, because the reality is if you just hold it and don't improve it, your value is not going to increase.
That's what I was alluding to.
Yeah, they're not going to increase. I mean, unless you all build like a boardwalk, water park around there and you do something, but that's not going to happen. Everyone around there, no one is developing. So how do you get someone to go out there and to develop where they may not see any growth? You say it's an opportunity zone, and that's your incentive. But it has all of the other ingredients to a great investment, because you're on the interstate, and the person on the front entrance is currently listed with another brokerage. The properties in the front, and they're overpriced compared to these properties. So we have a big competitive advantage that, number one, they're not advertising it and packaging it the same way that we would. And number two, we have economic incentives and packages that we can, put together for the end user. But there's lots of manufacturers, distribution companies that want to set up in South Texas, specifically to be close to Mexico, or to have northbound access from Mexico to North Texas and the rest of the states, that this is a key area. I mean, they want to be here. But at the end of the day, like we said, it's about packaging it, persuading it, showing them that return on investment. Because these people that are going to invest, that's what they're looking at, return on investment. If you build a 100,000 square foot warehouse, are you going to get end user tenants? Yeah, we are. Let me tell you why. Because we're working with the city municipality. We can put together incentive packages based on a return on investment via jobs. And it's an opportunity zone. So, we pride ourselves in looking where no one else is looking. I'm just very surprised no one else has looked at this.
Good.
I have no other questions.
Mr. Mayor?
We're just talking about this property for now, Joey?
Yes,
Just-
sir.
Just out there where Santana Textiles is? and
That's
that
pretty
area.
much the bulk of the property that we own now.
Okay.
Some of the other stuff we have is, we've got tied up, and we can have them look into it, some of the other buildings, but I think that's the bulk of it. And I think that's, again, to not overuse that word, the opportunities, and so I think it's through, you remember when we went to ICSC and we saw that LoopNet, that's one tool that he uses. It's a national marketing tool that helps us get our name out there.
And we want to use this to build trust with you all. We want to perform. I mean, when you sell real estate, it's performance-based. If we don't perform, we're not compensated. So, we're very motivated to perform and to do a good job, because if we do a good job for you all, people talk and people say, hey, this brokerage came in when no one else did, and they built something out of what others didn't see as an opportunity.
Joey, the commission amounts, and not to pick on you in any way, but it's
That's
our
fine.
job to ask questions.
Of course.
Is it
Is
Is it correct? Are you good with it?
the
What are the
average?
standards? Is it the average?
That's standard for the state. Yes, sir.
So 6% is the industry standard. So let's say that we list it and another buyer out of California, Kentucky, or someone comes representing someone else, a buyer that wants to purchase it. Out of that 6%, a buyer commission is split. So it's total 6%
For both.
that is paid. There's no hidden fees. That's what it is.
As
And it
long
comes
as it's
out
the
of the-
going rate, yeah, it's standard right now.
Yes, it is. And this comes out of the proceeds. It's not extra we pay.
There's brokerages that will say, oh, I'll list it for 5, I'll list it for 4. But, we go over and beyond in what we invest in our marketing package. And the same way you don't want us to negotiate the sales price, We don't want to negotiate our commission. We want to fight hard for our sales price. We want to fight hard for the commission. So when people say, hey, well, someone else is going to list it for 5%, well, that 1% is going to cost you that extra marketing because they're not going to do the same. They're going to go to church on Sunday and hope that it sells. And we're going to do the same, but we're going to put in some marketing.
You're not originally from Harlingen, are you?
No, not from Harlingen. No, no.
Okay.
I was Southside McAllen.
McAllen. It's the only team that moves.
But we do business in Harlingen. We actually, the first time that we connected with Mr. Trevino, we had an investor out of New Jersey that was looking for 100,000 square feet of warehouse space. And we saw this and we tried to pitch it to him to build a facility, 100,000 square foot warehouse, but he needed it rushed, so we ended up finding him a space in Harlingen at their industrial park, 100,000 square feet. So we do business valley-wide, but we'd like to do business with the City of Edinburg. City of Edinburg, out of all of the cities in Hidalgo County, just based on the mileage that you have, the growth, the land, the university, the courthouse, the highway infrastructure, has the most potential than any other city. But only time will tell.
I like what you're saying, just I do make a motion, do not let us down, please.
Performance-based, you're gonna have to
Because you will
perform.
we are all scrutinized and you will be scrutinized, so, I mean, we just want you to deliver and keep everything on the up and up.
I have a
and
question.
help the community, yeah.
What's like your average close rate on your properties that you do sell? That after, like, once you make your presentation, what would you say? You've been in business for 10 years. What would you say is your closing rate out of most of your transactions?
Well, we like to tell every client that there's a lot of things that are dependent on that. The price point, sometimes we have sellers that believe that there's mineral rights underneath their property and that their property is worth gold. And we work with that sales price, but we let the market dictate the prices. We don't develop prices based off of this is how I feel. But I will tell you this is going to be very unique. I'm not going to tell you, hey, we're going to sell this right away. It's very possible that we might not sell any properties, but it's not going to be for a lack of trying. It's not going to be because we didn't put out the best presentation. It's going to be because the market didn't dictate that. And we believe in what we do. Right now, I really believe in this. And I don't see any other brokerages here. And there's a reason. It's because most brokerages want the sure thing. They want to sell something quick, and this is not going to be easy. But we're willing to put in the work, and we don't want to let anyone down. We don't want to let ourselves down. We have operating expenses. We're going to put in money before we receive anything. But we want to do a good job for the City of Edinburg, for the region, and for ourselves, because reputation is everything. And like I said, if we do a good job with you all, more business will come. And that's what we're looking to do. So to answer your question, it really just depends on the property. Like, we've sold properties as quick as 30 days. Have had properties on the market for 2 years. It really just depends. But what I will tell you that we surpass every single person around us is in our marketing capabilities. Because we believe in using the tools. And we're always learning, always figuring out how can we market. And Albores Court was the best example. In my mind, I was like, we have to get this contract accepted before the meeting on Wednesday so we can tell them, hey, we already got it under contract. But we weren't able to do that. But hopefully we can get something done there. And after this, I really hope to see what other opportunities there are to do business with the City of Edinburg.
And just to confirm, sorry, Mr. President, I have a question. Just to confirm, so there will be no expense to the City of Edinburg, or to us in the event the property is not sold?
No.
Even though you've already made like I said, out-of-pocket expense with your...
No, there will be no expenses. We will be very sad if that happens. But we have to make something happen. Like, we have to. We're not going to focus on that. We're going to focus on making something happen. There's so many opportunity funds The opportunity fund we're working with right now out of Houston has $100 million to spend in Texas. And they're looking to make improvements. They just want to build warehouses. They want to lease them out, cold storage facilities. So I'm like, give us $5 million. $5 million. And we will build Rome in Edinburgh. I mean, sometimes you need, when you talk to investors, sometimes they don't know what they're looking for, and you have to tell them, this is what you're looking for.
One thing in my research, I've been going to seminars on opportunity zones and discussing with different realtors in town. I say opportunity zone. They say, yeah, I heard about that. Mark is the first one that's really come to us and say, I've already touched base with opportunity fund managers that are interested, like he just mentioned, that they have money and they're willing to spend. So other realtors have said, oh yeah, I'll go to a seminar and learn more about it. But like he's got a couple steps ahead of everybody else.
Is that your cell phone down there, Mark?
Yes, sir.
821?
Yes, sir. Available 7 days a week, just not between 10:30 and 12, because then I'm at church.
Got it. Any other questions?
No other questions.
Comments? Mr. Hannah, we appreciate your time and coming
Make
out
sure you
and
take Mr. Hannah
presenting.
with us over there to the conferences so he can go sell.
Yes, sir. Well, I had invited him to go.
Yeah, no, he did.
invite him to go.
He did invite me to go. I said I need to sell a property first so I can buy the airfare.
Go ahead and entertain a motion on this item, number 4.
I'll move to go ahead and enter into a 1-year contract with Mr. Hannah Solutions for property zone and our properties to.
You have a motion?
As the recommendation of Mr. Trevino.
I second the motion, Mr. President.
We do have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Those opposed, same sign. That motion carries. Thank you, sir. Mr. Trevino will be getting in touch with you. Moving on, number 5, discuss and consider approval of an architectural firm from the EDC Pool of Architects for professional services regarding the El Tule project. Finally.
Yes, sir. Attached, you'll have the list of architects that submitted into the architectural pool. The first one is for El Tule project. You had a chance to look into the different architects that have submitted.
Same list, we always
It's
go
the
by,
same,
right?
yes, sir.
All right. I entertain a motion.
I'll move for El Tule to entertain Ms. Milnet Architects, Mr. Rodolfo Molina.
Second.
We do have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Those opposed, same sign. That motion carries. Going back, yes. Go on to number 6. Discuss and consider approval of an architectural firm from the EDC Pool of Architects for professional services regarding the Workforce and Training Center. This will be our new resource center.
Joey, how many architects are here out of Edinburgh? Is there any?
I
I
think
would
just
really like
two-
to, I would
two-
really like to give it
Pretty
to,
much 2 architects.
that are
actual in the city.
from Edinburgh.
Yes, sir.
Which ones?
The Milnet and then Negrete Kolar.
Milnet's out of Edinburgh? That's one?
And Negrete Kolar. And,
Negrete.
okay, everything, we got surveying here. That's Rod's is the surveying. Architects is Rofus McAllen. Warren Group is in McAllen.
Have y'all used any of these architects in the recent years from Edinburgh on any significant project?
Negrete Kolar is working right now on the transit center. That's right behind us. They were the architects who worked for that one.
What about Mr. Mata? What do you know about him, Joey?
Material is out of McAllen. They've done a lot of school work. I've worked with them in the past in my previous employment. They're out of McAllen. The Warren Group is out of McAllen. I've worked with them on additional projects. They've done a similar project that we're considering here, the one in the Mission EDC. The Warren Group did that one.
Warren and Mata, say Warren or Mata? I'd like to give Ms. Warren a try. That's my motion for that second project.
We do have a motion and a second for the Warren Group. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Those opposed, same sign. That motion carries.
Mr. Trevino, I just, please make them aware of our budgets and how we feel about staying on budget and no change orders and all that stuff, so.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much.
Definitely.
So, Mr. Trevino, you're going to be getting in touch with these architects.
As soon as we're done here, I will reach out to them and set up meetings for end of this week and next week.
Okay, let's get them to meet in by, hopefully by this Friday. That way we can push this along. We've waited enough. That way we can start with,
Yeah,
get those
they'll have to
groundbreakings also.
Yeah, they'll have to start from new, the basic planning and pre-design, kind of give us a cost estimate, what they were looking at. And then from that cost estimate, we'll look at their contracts on their fees.
Okay. Move on to number 7. Can I get a motion to go into executive?
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to go into executive session. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Those opposed, same sign. We will go into executive. It is 12:41 p.m.
At this time, the EDC Board will convene an executive session in accordance with Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Section 551.071, consultation with attorney, and Section 551.087, deliberations regarding real property. I'm sorry, deliberations regarding economic development negotiations to discuss various matters, and the board will take no action. If any action is taken, it will be taken in open session.
Can I go ahead and entertain a motion to reconvene, please?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Those opposed, same sign. The motion carries. We are coming back into open session. It is 1:08 p.m. and Ms. Enriquez just walked out. We were already done. She left at 1:07 p.m., just for the record. Joey, go ahead.
I'd like to see on all the EDC, the executive session items, no action on A. On B, to direct the executive director to proceed as instructed in executive session. On B.
Can I entertain a motion on that, please?
So move.
Do have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Those opposed, same sign. That motion carries.
On C, deliberate possible action regarding First Hartford Realty regarding the restaurant plaza. I'd like the board to consider authorizing staff to proceed with the development, incentive development for the shops at Rio Grande for no more than $500,000 to build 4 pad sites for restaurants and the plaza.
Can I? We do have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Those opposed, same sign. That motion carries. And we'll be getting back with more info, right, Joey? Once you seal that deal, we can...
Yes, sir. We'll be scheduling the groundbreaking the Monday, the 17th at 5 p.m. So we'll be giving you more information on that.
Sounds
That's
good.
gonna be, that's gonna be big to, name those, multiple restaurants that are gonna be coming into town.
Yes, sir.
Good things, good things. Okay. D?
D, no action?
Looks like that's it.
Yes, sir.
Can I entertain a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Do have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Those opposed, same sign. That motion carries. Meeting adjourned. It is 1:10 p.m. Thank you.